Good morning. I certainly hope and pray that all is well. It's early, early Sunday morning. All right. So sometimes, maybe it's called bibliomancy. I don't know. Sometimes I'll ask for a scripture and I'll get one. So today I got Psalms 2 and 3. So what I'll do is I'll read the verses that I was given. Then sometimes I'll read the whole chapter. Okay. So Psalms 2 and 3. Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. So sometimes people think God don't laugh at people. I mean, if you're going by this manual here, okay? Now let's read the whole thing. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Maybe what I'll do is I'll read, because this is the King James Version, and some people claim they have a hard time understanding the King James Version. So maybe I'll read it from maybe the New King James Version. Let's see what come up. This is the New International Version. I like growing up in church and not so much church, but going to Christian schools. Boy, they had a problem with this version. This was in the 80s, so 70s, 80s. Why do the nations conspire and the people plot in vain? The kings of the earth rise up and the rulers band together against the Lord and against his anointing, saying, let us break their chains and throw off their shackles. Okay. Let the kings of the earth rise up here. And the rulers, they band together. They get together. We already saw the word conspire. They do it against the Lord. Now, for the common person who doesn't know this, I'm not saying it in a negative way when I say the common person. Lord and God and all these words are used interchangeably. Those who are theologians, they know that the word Lord and God are actually two different um, beings. I'll just say it like that. Like Satan, Lucifer, and the devil. There is a guy that I watch on here. What's his name? Okay, I gotta look up his channel name. He is a follower of the left hand path, but he's very well versed. He didn't always follow it, and he talked about the difference between the Lord, Satan, and the devil, not just from his left hand path knowings or his knowledge rather, but from study, and you can get like what he talked about the online blue Bible. I'm not sure what that is, but you got the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance and various uh, uh, books that break down the day, the time, the culture of the people, the etymology of the words. So those are three, not one and the same, but in uh, the way they broke down Christendom, they use it interchangeably, but it's not. But let's just keep going, okay? These rulers, powers, principalities, so on and so forth, conspire together against the Lord, okay, and against his anointed, okay, saying, now I'm back reading, let us break their chains and throw off their shackles, okay? The one enthroned, let us break their chains and throw off their shackles. Those who are the anointed, okay, of the Lord here, okay? Some of y'all like to say the Most High, God, or whatever, okay? Dismantle them, basically. Destroy them, okay? The one enthroned in heaven laughs. The Lord scoffs at them, okay? Just like we have in the King James Version, God laughs, okay? Scoffs at them. He rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath, saying, I have installed my king on Zion, my holy mountain. Okay, in other words, he laughs at them, their plots and their plans, and they're conspiring together against God and against his anointed, okay, to destroy them. All right, and he says, I put the person there, God, the Lord, the creator of all here, okay? All right, let's look. I will proclaim the Lord's decree. Now, this is someone speaking here. He said to me, you are my son. Today I have become your father. Ask me, and I will make the nations your inheritance. This is what God said to this anointed person here. Now, I'm not sure. Typically, we think of David, King David, as writing the Psalms. He didn't write all of them, okay? And I'm not quite sure if he wrote this one here in this Bible that I'm looking at. It's not, well, it's a long paragraph before the books begin. I'm not going to read that, okay? But anyway, but whoever it is, we can surmise here from looking at it that he's talking about, that it's an anointed of God, okay? He says, once again, that God proclaimed to him, you are my son. Today I have become your father. Ask me, and I will make the nations your inheritance. Anointed. The anointed of God. I will make the nations yours. Okay? The first shall be last, the last shall be first. That's in the scriptures as well. Okay. Ask me, and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. You will break them with a rod of iron. You will dash them to pieces like pottery. This is what God is saying to his anointed. This is what you are going to do to those who are conspiring, these rulers, powers, principalities, that sit in high places, so on and so forth. Okay. This is what you're going to do to them. Okay. You're going to break them. Okay, and dash them to pieces like nothing. All right, let's continue on. Therefore, you kings, be wise, be warned, you rulers of the earth. So this is him saying to those principalities, powers, etc., that sit in high places. Okay, be wise, be forewarned, be warned. Okay, this is what's coming to you. You rulers of the earth. Okay, serve the Lord with fear. Okay, people may have an issue with that word fear, but it's reverence. In other words, serve the Lord with reverence and respect and awe. Serve the Lord with fear and celebrate his rule with trembling. This, because this is what he gonna do. It's his rule, okay? And that's what it is. Kiss his son, or he will be angry, and your way will lead to your destruction. This is what he's telling these people that are conspiring against God and his anointed. This is what's going to happen to you. So be wise, okay? Just accept, in other words, the ruling of God, because this is what it's going to be. All right. Kiss his son. Now, that kissing, like on the cheek or whatever, it's a sign of respect in various cultures, okay? A sign of submission in various cultures to those that are above you. All right, or God will be angry, and your way will lead to your destruction. You're leading yourself to your destruction, okay? For his wrath can flare up in a moment. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. All right, so okay, that's what I was, like I said, I asked sometime for a scripture, and that's what I was given this morning. So I just wanted to share. Okay, so in the King James Version, we have, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. What does that word mean, derision? Contemptuous ridicule or mockery. Which leads to something I was going to talk about this morning. Contemptuous ridicule or mockery. All right, let's see something here. Contemptuous, okay, means showing contempt, obviously scornful, okay? For those who may not know what contempt means, the feeling that a person or thing is beneath consideration, worthless, or deserving scorn, all right? Now, don't have no feeling about it. Be upset when I look up words that may be simple, okay? Like I said, when I studied with the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem, led by Ben Ami, here I have 4:4 up here. You had missions, right, in various parts of really the world, but here in the States. Okay, Cleveland, Atlanta. I think there's a mission in New York. Oh, I can't remember every place. Florida. Okay, there's a mission in Africa. Maybe I think Ghana. Then, of course, the main place that was in Israel. Okay, and more places than what I named. Okay, but those are all I can think of. DC. And each mission was led by a Nasi or a prince. I'm not sure if it's Nasik or Nasi. Nasik. In Hebrew word, okay? Prince. Yeah, they ain't talking about something else. All right, but anyway, and of course, whoever leads anything, any kind of group, community, church, job, whatever, the personality of the community, okay, or the group, whatever, is going to be that of the person who leads it. So each community had its own distinct kind of personality and what they were really, really good at, because that was their focus. And usually their focus was that of the person who led, or the prince or the Nasik who led the community. So in Atlanta, for example, they had the Soul Vegetarian, they had a clothes shop, they had a barber shop, they had school, not a school. Yeah, I think they did have not a preschool. What do you call it? A daycare, something like that. I mean, it just some tech stuff going on, just really businessy, very focused on business. They had redid their. Now this was way back. This was when was I in seminary? 90, graduated 90, what was that? 97 through 2000. Had redid it. They're builders. They built themselves. They redid it. Everything. It was really, really nice. Okay. So, but that was their focus, because the prince that was over that mission, that was his focus. That's who he was. He was a businessman. So that's how their mission was. All right. Here in Cleveland, okay, the person who was the prince over the mission here, Nasik Aharon, okay, Aaron, Aharon, okay? Hebrew. He was very much an intellect, very much intellectual, okay? Very well studied, very well read. He um he was from here. He was from Cleveland. His former life before that, he had been a pimp. I don't know what else. Okay. So that was huge in Cleveland. Study. And you know that the mission in Cleveland was known for that, being highly intellectual, having the knowledge, not just the a walkthrough or the look of being a Hebrew, okay, and eating the diet and so on and so forth, but no, having knowledge of what that particular Hebrew community, um, the doctrine of that Hebrew community. So when he went Sundays, we would have class, okay, not service, class. And he would teach, and he would have one of the brothers up there with him. The one brother I mentioned that who got involved with this shit, this woman who raised me, was leading people on to my destruction or whatever. He he was, sometimes he would be have him do it, read. Yeah, would have him break out the dictionary. Okay, so he'd be up there teaching, and you would think it would be like a simple word. That way, everybody know what that means, you know. And he would have them look up the word, okay, from the dictionary, and not just any old dictionary, okay, because you know some of the words over time the meanings have changed. All right, um, like I'll just use this for an example. I'm sure people know gay. When we think of gay, we think of sexual relations, gender with gender, usually male and male. But the word really means happy. Okay? So, like I said, there's a lady on here. I don't know. Well, she does have a small channel, but that's hers. But there are a lot of lectures on YouTube, I guess. You know, YouTube then got rid of stuff. Um, that's her thing, words. Dr. Yafa Bay. Now, I think there's another person calling himself Dr. Yafa Bay. I'm not sure, okay? But she is, a lot of those lectures that you find here, she didn't have anything to do with them being recorded or put on here, all right? Which she's talked about that, all right? So she break out some dictionaries from, you know, long ago. You can't even find them no more. Or you do, you go on to look for it or whatever, and it's like $1,000 for the damn dictionary, okay? All right. She gets into, I believe, Black's Law Dictionary as well, if you want to know the true meaning of words, because you'll be saying something. It doesn't really matter, you know, to these rulers, powers, principalities, so on and so forth. They don't care that the people have morphed the word into meaning something else. They could care less. Okay. This is what the word means, and that's what they're going to go by, the original meanings of the word. So you can find yourself saying something, thinking you're saying one thing, but to those that this higher rulers and powers, okay, just like in court, they'll trick you motherfucking ass up if you think you know what you're saying, but you don't. That's why they say it's best to have a lawyer represent you. I'm just using that for an example, okay? Because you the kind of person ain't reading the Black's Law Dictionary to know what the words mean, all right? But anyway, that's all that is. Because I'm trying to figure out what I should talk about first. Hold on. Okay. All right. So I really didn't come on with. I can tell you one thing. Sometimes people would get upset that he would. I'm not saying. Just in general, I would hear sometimes people talking about it, just various people. Sometimes we have visitors, whatever, to the class, that he would have people read the meanings of such simple words. But, you know, what they say, a method to his madness, you got to know what it really means. Okay, what's really being said here. Okay. So anyway, so yeah, he would break that shit down. We had the School of the Prophets on Monday night, which was more class, more study. Okay. So that was the focal point here in Cleveland. All right. And you can never make an assumption that people that are listening to you know exactly what it is that certain words mean. Some people may not know what is derision. What does that mean? Okay. He will have them in derision. What does that mean? Okay. In other words, he will mock them and laugh at them. Okay. That was something I shared when me and Brianna Jo Bellamy were texting one another. Of course, she made a post about it, or somebody she was fighting with on here. But anyway, so yesterday I did a pendulum reading about the stuff that I've been dealing with and encountering with people here, and of course, here comes black magic. I get a phone call later that night, and I said, "This is one of these motherfuckers." Okay, I answered it because they hung up real quick, and then here they come with the black magic and all in my ear. Now, it wasn't Bree in my fucking ear. Okay. Now, I said I have a pet, and I called on that motherfucker, and I heard him growl. So I don't know if you all were affected by that or not. Hopefully you were, because leave me alone. And like I said, it's always, these people, they just keep going. They keep doing the same things over and over and over again, which is insanity. It's insanity. So let me see that number that called me last night, since I've been doing it. Number that called me last night, that 216551 number. Okay. Was that Philippe calling me from that number? Mm-hmm. Yes. Clearly, yes. For those who have been watching, this is yes for me. Okay. Um, the person that I heard in my ear last night, I told to get up out of my ear, confirmation. What were they doing? Something like, I don't know. They be making these noises and stuff. I be hearing these readers who be talking about this stuff, how they try to interrupt your sleep and all of this kind of thing, and your rest period and all of that. That person I heard in my ear last night was that Zarita. But what's funny is, yes, they watched me. They were probably watching me this morning. And it's like, they don't think I'm gonna talk about it. So let me see. When these people do these things, it's black magic, witchcraft, with the intention to hurt me. Do they think that I'm going to get on YouTube and talk about it? See what I'm saying? No. That's when you know a person's mind is gone. And why do I say that? Because I've been talking about it. I started with Bree. What was it? Year before last? I think like October. When was I in New York? September, October, something like that. And I haven't stopped. I take breaks or whatever, but I haven't stopped. Now I was in blackout readings. I was showing my hands. I was doing readings on them, but I wasn't saying their names. But this is how you know that a person, their mind is gone. Because I haven't stopped. Every little thing they do, you don't hear talk about it. Well, I ain't gonna say every little thing they do, because I don't. Because goddamn, I'd be on here just all day long. But so I went one time to a Botanica, and there's one here. There used to be one here I was talking about before. That closed down. And then there's another one that's here. If you're ever in Cleveland, or if you live here and you're watching, it's on 55th. And is that like 55th, like as you're headed into Slavic Village? Okay. There's the little plaza there. There's a daycare. There's a little food shack type place. There's the BMV is there. Oh my God, it's so beautiful there. They got just got everything. Okay. And I was talking to the guy who owns it, and I was telling him about some of this shit here. And I was like, they don't stop. And he was like, they don't. And I didn't tell him who, whatever, because of course they get people come in there who dealing with this type of shit. He was like, they don't stop. They don't stop. He was like, a lot of times when, it's a typical story, jealousy and all of whatever, usually jealousy and money. He was like, they don't. explain them. You know, you get the reversible candles and all the shit, okay? But it's like a continuous. I have a client, and she was telling me how um, some things that she goes through. She said, I really think somebody did something to me. But somehow I was like, they did. Okay, obviously from what she tells me, they did. This young woman should be a princess right now in in an African country. I'm not gonna say which one. All right, her father was supposed to be become a king, um, and just so happened, just so happened, he just happened to just die out of the blue the year that he was supposed to be made king. Just out of the blue, just out of the blue. I was like, oh, okay, you're right. He wasn't sick or anything. No, no, he just died. Yeah. Okay. And so she's been kind of on her own, but nevertheless, and of course there was money that was left for her, and enough money that she would never have to work, her children would never have to work, so on and so forth. Asked me, does she have a piece of a dime of it, of a cent of it? Of course not. Same typical shit. So everywhere she goes, she has a lot of stuff, people coming at her. And she lives here in America. But everywhere she goes, there's always people coming at her, all job, anything, all the fucking time. It's the same shit all the time. Go in the grocery store, people coming at her, just out of the blue. And she was just, and it really, and she's alone. She doesn't have anybody, no family, no nothing. Mother is not in the picture. Okay. I believe the rest of the family is in Africa. And she said, I really think somebody put some kind of curse or hex or something on me. I was like, they did. But anyway, what was I saying about that? Stole all her money. She didn't have anything. Okay. I mean, she works. She works. But it's not easy for her because every little step she takes, okay, whatever was put over her so that she wouldn't become the princess that she's meant to be, and so that she wouldn't have what she's supposed to have. Okay, that's rightfully hers in her bloodline. Okay, she's like obstacle all the time. People coming at her all the time. Okay, so I was just letting her know, they're not going to stop. There are things that you can do, but they're not going to stop. They're not. It's funny. They won't stop. But it's kind of like people talk about people's karma and whatnot. In a sense, that is a person's. People who do these types of things, that is karma on them. That they cannot. Even if it gets to a point where you would think like they would want to stop. Because shit happening to their motherfucking asses. Towers and all the readers be talking about that shit. Towers and all of that shit happening in their lives and all of that shit. And yes. But they can't stop. That's part of the karma. And sometimes what you may see is these people who do these things to you, you haven't done anything to them, and you're innocent. They're just trying to destroy you, take your money, take your life, take your destiny, and take your essence and your being, and all of that type of thing, or whatever. And next thing you know, they done rose up. They done got a promotion on their job. They got a new car, new house, a new spouse, and all of that type of thing. And you look at social media, which is not really a good thing to look at because it's pictures. And people getting on lines just saying shit. Okay. I had a friend from college. I might have talked about this. I probably have. Who, when I first... Yeah, I wasn't even on Facebook at that time. This was so long ago. Social media was, you know, not as big as it is now, but it was getting there. And he was Howard alumni had a social media type thing like somewhat like Facebook. And I saw him on there, and he told me to get on Facebook because I talk to people more on there. And I said, okay, put it on Facebook. He would talk on there a lot, send me messages. We'd message each other a lot. He would tell me how horrible his relationship was with his wife. All just terrible, horrible things. But every day you saw pictures of them. Now that was in the messages, but every day you saw pictures of them so happy and in love. And this person's so great and wonderful, and she's so great and wonderful, and he's so great. And I asked him, I was like, why do you post that shit? With all this shit that you telling me that's going on with you and your wife, he wasn't trying to talk to me or anything like that. We were cool in college. I said, why are you posting? And well, I don't remember, some bullshit he said. So I'm just saying that to say, well, finally, she made a fake page of him and his brand and put all his business out on the street. Okay, I don't know if the lady was lying on him or telling the truth or not, but it was some devastating shit. Okay, but he seemed to handle it. I don't know, so. But anyway, I was like, I'm just saying that to say people post pictures. It doesn't mean anything. People say a lot of stuff. Doesn't mean anything. And we know that, but yet people still do it. Okay, and I said we know that because people have been talking about that for years. How people utilize social media like that, but people still do it. Fake smiles and fake happiness, and I got it all together, fakeness. And people have talked about how the devastating mind fuck that social media is. But anyway, so it's like I don't know. It's like that is part of the karma in and of itself. And you look and these people, they seem like they done riding to the top after they done did you all kind of ways, all kind of dirty and whatnot. And you're trying to figure out, well, how? God, what? Explain to me, And it's like, yeah, that because the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Okay. That's part of the karma in and of itself. The promotion, look like things are looking up for that person who's done something devastating to you, especially if you're one of, as we just read in Psalms chapter 2, one of the Lord's anointed, one of God's anointed. That person, when they do fall, it's going to be a devastating fall. Because if they just fell from when they was just the sloppy ass drunk who wasn't doing shit that you knew them to be, wouldn't be much of a fall, would it? Okay. Wouldn't be much karma on them, would it? They ain't had nothing when you knew them. What they gonna lose? Like Ruth said, she ain't got nothing to lose. All right. But as some say, you don't sit back and wait for their karma. Just keep living your life. Okay. But ain't no need nobody lying. You do be wanting to see that shit. Okay. Especially when they've done something to hurt you and destroy you, and you ain't did shit to them, or you were good to them. Okay. It's part of the healing process. I dreamed about my dad last night. And my dad doesn't, and that's confirmation. My dad, I seriously doubt. I don't think he's physically well. And I have not known my dad to, at least to me, do any kind of magic or anything. Could have shit, I don't know. Okay. But anyway, so sometimes when I have dreams, sometimes it's a matter of the dream infiltration. I can kind of tell the difference when it's or it's just a thing of me working things out. Because I listen to some meditation type things, sometimes, or whatever I'm led to listen to as I drift off to sleep. Part of the healing. Because I'm sure some people may listen and be like, God damn, bitch, you've been through all that, bitch. I'm sure some people don't believe it. It really doesn't matter what people believe, okay? But it ain't no need nobody lying. When you do go through these things, you do want people. You do, and you're sharing it, and you're revealing it. You do want people to believe you because it's a part that just believing in and of itself is called support. Okay, that is just an energetic support. Okay, but not everybody's going to. Some people won't because they're afraid to, especially if they know the people that you were talking about. They're afraid to because it's like to really know that people out there could do stuff like that to another person. Even though you see people talk about it all the time, but not everybody be on social media and whatnot. Not everybody's been touched by these types of things. Not everybody's heard this type of stuff before because ain't none of this shit new. It's not. There's no. I don't give a fuck what the bitch said on her lying ass platform. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay. Okay. Now I said this person on the line as platform. The reason I said that is because they speak very much from a Christian perspective, whether they know it or not, whether she knows it or not. Okay, trying to find this scripture, and since this is, they have taken this on as a Judeo-Christian book. Okay. Ecclesiastes 1:9. That thing that, I'm reading King James. Okay. That thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. All right. Sometimes some sayings, people say, oh, that's it. The Bible said, the Bible don't say that. And then there are some that saying that it does come from the scriptures, okay? So let me see. I'll read it from the NIV. Wait a minute. Let me do this. All right. This is about Ecclesiastes. This is part of this. After the third verse, it's called Illustrations of Vanity. The words of the teacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. Meaningless, wait a minute, hold on. Okay. Now the King James version says preacher instead of teacher. Okay. Meaningless, says the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. What do people gain from all their labors at which they toil under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. Isn't that something? I had remembered when I was in seminary, someone saying that it's somewhere in the scripture where it says the earth has always been and it will always be. I actually found that scripture back then. I've looked for it since then and I can't find it. But nevertheless, here. But the earth, generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. Okay? The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the north and turns to the south. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. Okay, so I mean, nature, everything, what you see it doing, it's gonna keep. That's what the fuck it's gonna keep on doing. In other words, okay. And the earth is always gonna be. It's gonna be forever. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. That's what it's made to do, to see, and eye to see, ear to hear. What has been will be again. Okay? And none of this shit is new. None of it. None of what people are going through with the gang stalking, none of it. It's trending now. Give it a few years. You're not going to hear people talking about this anymore. Not that doesn't mean that it has stopped. People will be talking about something else. I remember when I first, before I got on YouTube my first time, one thing readers were always talking about twin flame, twin flame, twin flame. That was the big thing. Trends, comes and goes. Okay. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Okay. Is there anything of which one can say, look, this is something new? See, this is how you know people just either they don't know what they're talking about or they're called. Now, let me see. Let me see. Have to make sure when it jumps to 0. Okay, and people jump off. So that's how you know either people are, especially if they're coming from a Christian perspective, and if you really understand Christianity and some of these religions, but I'm going to stick with this one, stick to one of the 3 Abrahamic religions. If they're coming from that perspective, and you listen to them, you know that they are. That's what they know. That's what they understand. So that's the perspective from which they teach. That's the perspective from which they do their readings. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. But what I am saying, this is how you know when you listen to these things, if they're either they simply do not know what they're talking about, or they're what you all are calling, what this calls in the scripture, false. I'm not going to say a prophet. I do not think that just because a person is reading tarot means that they're a prophet. I don't know where people get that from. Okay, maybe someone can tell me. All right. But they're false. They're lying. They're full of shit. Okay, or they're working with these powers, principalities, rulers, darkness, whatever person is over this community, this tarot community here, to destroy other tarot readers. Okay, that's how you know. Okay, hold that thought. Let me finish reading. Okay, is there anything of which one anybody can say, look, this is something new? It was already here long ago. It was here before our time. No one remembers the former generations, and you don't. And even those yet to come will not be remembered by those who followed them. You don't remember that. People talk about past lives. Now, I used to be a hypnotherapist. There's a lady on here who's a hypnotherapist. I remember seeing her way back, and she will take people into their past lives. You can do that. I've done readings where I've told people their past lives. When I did hypnotherapy, I would take people into their past lives. But generally, you come into this realm, okay, you don't remember it. Some people may be so in tune with themselves and their soul, their being, that they may have glimpses and they remember some things, or they will see faces and just be like, that person looks familiar. A lot of these people that I'm talking about, these faces look familiar to me. Now, did they have the same face in another life? No, they didn't have the same face. It's the spirit. That's why sometimes when I do readings and people ask me, they say, well, they may want to know about their who their person is supposed to be, or whatever, okay, who they gonna marry, and blah blah blah, and give me a description. They want me to give them a description. Okay, now my issue with that is, I don't want to give you a description of who and what I'm seeing, because that's what you're going to look for. What I'm seeing may not be how the person looks physically. That may just be how the spirit of the person, what I'm seeing. For example, I talked about this, but for example, I had when I lived in my grandparents' house, now I'll anoint and bless my own house. But I knew a young lady who was I think she was a Yoruba priestess. So I asked her if she would do it, because I wanted to see her, how it was done, how she did it and everything. I'm open. And I knew her and I trusted her and everything. So she came by and we were on my 3rd floor. We were in the attic, and she saw there was a chair, and she said, "Who's that man sitting in that chair?" Now I talked about this, my grandfather. I didn't see him. She was the first person to point him out. And I looked, I said, "I don't see anybody." She said, "You don't see that man sitting right there in that chair." I talked about all these people who come in here and saw him. I never did. Okay. They experienced him. They saw him. They heard him doing things. Heard him in the bathroom. Heard him at the sink getting water. Turn on the faucet. All of this shit. I didn't. Okay, I'd be sitting right there with people. And they'd be like, "You don't see that man standing right there looking at us." No, I don't. I don't. But I knew it was my grandfather, and I knew because of this woman. Okay, but let me finish. And she said she asked me where I got the chair, and I told her I had got it from like a thrift store type place or whatever. And she said, "Did you clean it?" Now back then I didn't know anything about any of this stuff, right? And I said, "Yeah." She said, "How'd you clean?" I was like, "Well, I got some soap, some dish detergent, yeah, I'd probably use dish detergent and water and clean it." She said, "I don't mean like that," And but nevertheless, she described him to me. She said he looks short and he muscular and blah 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 blah. And I was like, I don't know who that could be. I was like, So anyway, she said, go out in the yard and get me these herbs. And I was like, ain't no herbs out there. She was like, go out in that yard. She knew all of this. She hadn't even gone out to the backyard. Okay. And I came back. I was like, oh my God, you were right. She said, I told you. But anyway, she went upstairs. She do her work. She came down. She said, okay, it's okay. He's just here to protect you. And I said, okay. I wasn't afraid or anything like that, because I done had all kind of experiences ever since I can remember, since I was small. So it wasn't anything for me to feel fear of, okay? So anyway, I put a picture of my grandfather on, this was when I was on Facebook. This was years ago on Facebook. And she came through, she said, that's the man that I saw. And I said, but the way you describe him is not how he was built. He was tall and thin, And she said, I don't care what I said to you. That is the person. So what she was seeing here at that time, that moment, she said, it was not how he physically looked. So I'm not really into giving people physical descriptions. Okay, that'll mess you up every time, because the person could look nothing like the physical. That maybe that's how they looked in the past life or whatever. Is what I'm picking up on. I don't know. Okay, and you'll miss out on what's there for you, because that's what people are going to go for. What a look. Okay, and not the spirit of the person that is there for you. All right. I can't even remember why I got into all that. All right. Let me think for a second. What was I talking about? I can't remember. Okay, but anyway. So let me say this real quick. Okay. Oh, about so you come into this realm and you don't remember. That's one part of the thing when people tell you, like, when you die, don't go into that motherfucking light. Don't, because it's going to recycle you back here. Or recycle, what they say is the moon, or wherever they say it is. It's a recycling thing to recycle you back here into this space. Remember, even in Shrek, they put it in all these, they put it everywhere. When the donkey, I don't even know if I saw that movie. I think I saw, I don't know. Where the donkey said, Eddie Murphy's character, don't go into the light, motherfuckers. Okay, but they have us so afraid of the darkness. When the majority, if the sun wasn't here, we'd be in darkness. Okay, as the world turns, as the earth turns. Okay, it spins on its axis or whatever. Okay, the majority of our realm is darkness. Okay, but once again, what has been will be again. Ain't nothing new. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which anybody, and you would want to be careful of listening to that anyway, based off of what? You're saying that there's something new under the sun. What is it, and what is it based off of? When not only this ancient book, but other ancient books are telling us the same exact thing. And they are. They have done things to make it look like all the shit is separate and different. Now, I have a book, and I'm going to share it eventually. But one time, I put it on my Facebook. I mean, it was a whole lot of people. This was not my personal Facebook. This when I first started doing my readings. It was a whole slew of people that came through. They were in on it, supportive. They read the book or they seen it, blah blah. And then they're scared as fuck. Scared shitless. Okay, so I'm gonna share it eventually, not right now. And there's some things in that book that you'll find in this one that I'm reading from. It's the same shit. The people, the ascended masters and God and all of this type of thing. It's just people just be talking, running their mouth with no knowledge of shit. Because, and especially if they sound good. So I'm not saying it's about a Christian God or a Judaic God or whatever. No. You find some of the same things in this book right here, which I talked about when I did my religious studies series. There's some of the same, you will find it in other texts of other cultures that ain't Christian at all. Ancient texts. It's the same shit. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, look, this is something new? No. And if they do, you need to question it. It was already here long ago. It was here before our time. No one remembers the former generations, and even those yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow them. Now, some people may look and say, well, what about all this technology? Well, what about these people talking about Atlantis? This shit is nothing. This technology is nothing compared to that. You think they haven't done things like AI? Hell, there's people walking around. What was I watching? It was, oh my God, I was thinking about it yesterday. I think it was a video on YouTube. I can't even tell you. Something I ran across. And they were talking about the engineering of humanity and how they only chose, like, I don't remember the number. I'll just say 5, for example. 5 looks. I'm not saying it was 5. I don't remember the number. Okay, I'm just throwing that out as an example. And I said that makes so much fucking sense. You know how you see people. That's how people can categorize and stereotype and all of that. It's like people look the same. And what I mean is you will see someone, they have the not qualities. Oh shit, what's the word? Well, I guess we say qualities for the time being, but I'm talking about of a look, the physical. Okay, they may be. I'll just use one description: short. No, not that. I'll use. Well, I talked about my grandfather. He was tall. He was thin, kind of lanky, very high cheekbones. Okay, very dark. How many men do I see out there? Even as a substitute teacher, I had a student. I was like, my God, he looks like my grandfather. He had the same exact look. Same, tall, thin, lanky, very dark, high cheekbones. Same look. How many men do I see out there? They look, okay, like 5 or 6 or however many. Okay, and you see people like that look like such, or they look like such, or she look like an old such. The same is this. They only chose whoever Elohim, the gods. Okay, when it could be so many more. Different looks of people, or colors. Okay, how they say there's so many more colors, but because of the limitations of whatever, you know, we can only see, what is it, like the 5, is it 5 main ones? You know, whatever they are. Okay, and in those intermix make more colors, but that there's so many more. Okay, all right. So let me look up something real quick. That's what I thought it was. Wait a minute, hold on. I'm trying to figure out where this book is. I could look it up, just Google it, but it's just something authentic about just looking in the book itself, or like, writing and whatnot. It's just something authentic about putting hand pencil to paper as opposed to typing things out. All right. So the magic is, which they're trying to divorce you from. Okay. Okay, Hosea 4:6. And people, you've heard this. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. The law of God is not religion. If God is the creator, the law is the laws, universal laws, because that comes under the creation. That is part of the creation. The universal laws. It just is what it is. Spiritual laws. What goes up gonna fucking come down. Okay, let me see something. Okay, I'm going to read. Sometimes I don't like just reading just the verse. Now, I'm not going to read the whole entire chapter. Okay. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Got a problem with them, with the inhabitants. Because there is no truth, no mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. God is all in all, not some being. Everything. The yin, the yang, the ups and downs, the in and out, the black, the light, the dark, all of it. We already talked about in Isaiah 45. I'll go to that. But let me read this first. Knowledge. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches the land. And blood touches blood. Excuse me. Therefore shall the land mourn. Goddamn if the land ain't mourning right now. And everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beast, and everyone that dwells in the land will languish, crying out in despair, so on and so forth. With the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea shall also be taken away. These things are happening, but they've happened before. Yet let no man strive nor reprove another, for thy people are as they that strive with the priest. Therefore, and that's what I just said. Yet let no man strive nor reprove another. Let's look up something real quick. To reprove, in the Bible, to reprove means to blame, censure, convince of a fault, or expose wrongdoing to others. Okay. It can involve a formal accusation of a fault, such as in God reproving humanity for sin, or it can refer to the Holy Spirit convincing the world of sin, righteousness, and judgment. The word can also denote exposing works of darkness through the light of truth, as seen in Ephesians 5:11, or the patient instruction of a wise person by a discerning reprover. Now let's look here. Let's finish looking at this. Okay. Therefore, let no man strive nor reprove another, for thy people are as they that strive with the priest. The leader, like I was talking about when I studied with the Hebrew community, the leader is who sets the tone for what the community will be, because that's what they are. For thy people are as they that strive with the priest. They are like the priest, the leader. Once again, therefore shall thou fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night, and I will destroy thy mother. I'm not quite sure what that's about. I have to read the whole thing and break it down, but I'm not. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. This ain't any old thing, because it sounds good. It's not about me. You can make the memes about me and laugh at me and call me bald and all that. It ain't about me. Okay, so, and boo hoo hoo, boo fucking who? Who cares? You have people that are listening to you. Oh, but that's right. You was paid by your priest. Fuck those people. You don't care about those people. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, not me. This is a word from the book, the manual. And this is the perspective that you come from. I was listening to a man who I follow here on YouTube. I watch his videos, follows the left-hand path, and he taught. I wanted to post his video, but I didn't, because I'm like, they ain't gonna listen no way. They're gonna be scared of the motherfucker and then say that I'm some evil satanic witch, whatever. This is Christian. Whether you want to believe it or not. Not about you going to church. Not about you not being raised in a Christian household. That's not it. It's the culture. But then some people, they are raised in that particular perspective, and that's all they know, and that's what they talk. But they say people can only understand you from their level of their perception and outlook of life. So since you're coming from that, let's read. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I want to look good. I want to sound good. I want to tear down that person over there, because that's going to make me look better and sound better. And they'll follow me and reject that person. I will also, but then say that you're leading people and helping them. To what? Leading them to this fucking slaughter? I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. You can be theirs. Because people are sheep. They are. That's why it's only 144,000. Because people are sheep. And that's not anything new. It's all in this book right here that I'm reading out of, all throughout it. How people just follow. They follow. They don't do the work. They follow a leader. It's natural. You are born and you have a leader, two, hopefully, but damn sure one. A mother. And they look and they listen and they watch and they do what their leader does, and all those other leaders when they're small around them doing. One foot in front of the other, so they learn to walk. They watch your mouth and listen to your words, so they learn to speak and talk, which they're going to do anyway, but they'll speak English or whatever language it is that you speak. People have leaders. It's a natural thing. We're born into that. So you won't be a priest to the one with the knowledge and who then gave the word. Like I said, ain't no more books to write. Ain't no more walls to write on. The shit is there. It's been there for centuries. But being cute and having to be number one outweighs that. Again, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou should be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. Not only will you are not a priest to me, in other words, what God is saying here, but also fuck your children. Whether that be those who follow you, because they are your children, or the ones that you have brought into this world and realm, physically so. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore, I will change their glory into shame. Here's your glory that will be turned into shame. And what the people out here talking about, people being exposed and in jail and getting arrested and then getting evicted, all types of shit. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be like people, like priests, and I will punish them for their ways and reward them for your doings. Like I said, that's your reward. Okay. For they shall eat and not have enough. People here big. I need food. I need food. Help me. Trump done came in. The trumpet is done blown. No more fucking shit for you motherfuckers. No more free shit, goddamn. They shall commit whoredom and shall not increase. But they have left off to take heed to the Lord. They shall commit whoredom and they shall not increase. Don't want. I won't, no. Well, that can be taken a few ways. I would want to look, but if we have this thing where people, you know, and you do what you want to do. I'm reading. Don't want to have children, which okay, that's okay. My daughter said she ain't never have none. I ain't got no problem with it. She's my only child. I ain't got a problem with it. Bring nobody else up into this motherfucker. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. That's probably when they called me last night. Probably drunk as fuck. Just doing dumb shit. Heart gone, mind gone. Because they can't face the reality of who and what they've become. Okay. And whoring, you know, in the scripture means more than just the way we look at it, okay? My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declareth unto them, for the spirit of whoredoms hath caused them to err, and they have gone a-whoring under their God. They sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains and burn incense upon the hills under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall commit adultery. I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom. Let them hoe. Nor your spouses when they commit adultery. For themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore the people that doth not understand shall fall. Well, because everybody is responsible for themselves. And you damn sure are responsible for those, your flock. Though thou, Israel, play the harlot, yet let not Judah offend, and come not ye unto Gilgal, neither go ye up to Bethaven, nor swear, the Lord liveth. For Israel slideth back as a black backsliding heifer. Now the Lord will feed them as a lamb in a large place. God is so good and wonderful and kind and light and loving. We can do whatever. God wouldn't do nothing like that. It's Christian nation. It's Christian world. It's culture. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. I mean, after a while, God like, whatever. People, ain't no God, because why would God let... You mean tell me God have not given humanity... Ye are gods, the ability to do the quote unquote, right thing, change, go get some fucking knowledge, stop doing the same old dumb shit, loop after loop after loop after loop. It's been written on the walls, not just in Egypt. Here go the word for the people. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love. Give ye. The wind hath bound her up in her wings, and they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices. All right, hold on. And they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices. Like those motherfuckers that bothered me last night. Again, can't face themselves and their shame and their guilt. So let's just keep bothering her. Because we right? In scripture, whoredom can refer to both literal sexual immorality, like prostitution and adultery, and metaphorical spiritual unfaithfulness, which signifies idol worship and unfaithfulness to God. Hold on, please. All right. It's not about religion, what I'm reading here. But I ain't Jewish. I ain't no Christian. That's not what this is. Um, biblical passages that speak of blood on your hands are found in Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, referring to guilt from violence, injustice, or failure to warn others of danger. The phrase describes a spiritual stain of sin, particularly from shedding innocent blood or failing in one's duty to warn others, such as watchmen's failure to sound an alarm. Isaiah 1:15, when you spread out your hands in prayer, I will hide my eyes from you. Even though you offer many prayers, I will not listen. Your hands are full of blood. Okay, leading people the wrong way. Isaiah 59:3, for your hands are stained with blood and your fingers with guilt. Jeremiah 2:34, you have blood on your hands. It is the blood of poor, innocent people. You don't care. You don't give a fuck about those people. You did not catch them breaking into your house. You killed them for no reason. You don't give a fuck about them. As long as their likes and their comments and their subs and whatnot validate your existence. Ezekiel 3:18-19, when I say to the wicked, you wicked person, you will certainly die, and you do not speak to warn the wicked about his way, that wicked person shall die for his wrongdoing, but I will require his blood from your hand. Okay. Injustice, it can refer to the oppression and mistreatment of others, and that is oppressing others. You are oppressing them. You're not enlightening them, but you don't give a fuck. You got paid. Your priest paid you. Mistreatment of others, or failure to provide justice for those who have been wronged. No, you don't provide. You don't have to say anything, but you don't provide justice for them. You just continue to mock them. Because I'm with the cool kids on YouTube. Failure to warn. In the case of Ezekiel, it highlights the responsibility of a watchman or any leader to warn people of danger. Failure to do so makes the watchman responsible for the resulting deaths. Violence. The phrase directly relates to the act of shedding innocent blood, whether through literal violence or other actions that lead to death. Now, and it doesn't have to be a physical death. Maybe just as fucking confused. People in Isaiah's time, examples of blood on their hands. They had blood on their hands due to violence and the oppression of the poor and the needy. And people are poor and needy. And I'm not talking about financially poor. There's very wealthy people financially who are poor and needy. Being a spiritualist or spiritual leader, I feel like is like I personally feel that when you talk about spiritual things, spirituality, is like one of the foundations of everything of life. It is, and you get in it, but for YouTube or something artificial. Like I said, I went to seminary. A lot of them pastors up there ain't believe that shit. It's a job, get paid. We know that. Not all of them. That could be any spiritual, any religious or spiritual, whatever community. A negligent watchman. This individual will have blood on their hands if they fail to warn people of an approaching danger leading to their deaths. Adulterers in Ezekiel 23:37 committed adultery and also committed infanticide. Their hands were on blood and their idols were on blood. Proverbs 6:17. God hates hands that shed innocent blood. You're shedding innocent blood. But whatever. Okay. I couldn't think of there was some other things I wanted to speak on. I can't remember. Right. And if I send you this, you're a bald-headed lion, bitch. I don't know what that means. Bitch. When I was in when I went to Howard, you know, when I think I was 18, yeah. That's age. 4 years, you generally go when you're 18. 4 years about the age of 22. 4 years, you and maybe I was somewhat. I wouldn't say I was a nerd or a cornball or anything like that. Just me. Sometimes we be talking to people, and they'll be using this slang and shit, and I'd be like, I don't know what that means. I can't see, I can't have a conversation with you if I don't know what the word means. If I don't know what the slang term means, I can't. So I'll stop a person and be like, wait a minute, I need you to tell me what that word means. Explain to me what that means. You know what that means? No, if I knew what the fuck it meant, I wouldn't have asked you, what are you saying? I never really been, that's just me. Never really been into the quote unquote no like that. Okay. Some things I see nowadays, I don't know if it's just a matter, like on social media, I don't know if it's just a matter of slang or if it's just a matter of, because people's writing and stuff now, the people don't even know periods. They don't even know commas. I mean, they just be writing a whole paragraph with like 5 or 6 different thoughts in it with nothing to break. This thought has ended and a new thought has begun. There's just, I'm like, is this just a social media thing or is this just the state of people right now? How do you communicate effectively here? I mean, like I said, I'm a substitute teacher and I work with young people who didn't, 8th grade, they was looking at letters, they didn't even know what they were. 8th grade couldn't, and this is a suburban school. They'll be one of the top. Nothing wrong with the school. The school got the curriculum. I sat in the room with the teachers. The teachers are teaching. They couldn't, it's like, teachers like, take them out there and tell them to copy it word for word. They couldn't do it. I'm like, just copy it. Just copy what you see. You couldn't. You know how you was in school? You have a test and you ain't studied. You ain't bit more studied for that motherfucker. Studied for that. You ain't studied shit. But you kind of, you sat in class, you took notes, you kind of remember some of the shit that was said. And even if you didn't, you could look at the question, says multiple choice, for example. Okay, I don't know. It'll be a sentence. Which word does this? And you look at the words. I ain't study for this shit. But you could make the connection. You could connect here. Which word would go with the sentence that was given you? That's gone out the window. I tried to work with some girls one day. I didn't study for the test. I didn't study for the test. I was like, well, let me see if I can help you here. You know, figure out. I tried to show them. They didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Couldn't do it. But they cute and hot and sexy. I had to tell one young person one time who was being so sassy. Just as cute as she could be. Ain't nothing wrong with being pretty. Ain't nothing wrong with being cute. But pretty and dumb is not a good combination. It ain't gonna take you no fucking where. Surprisingly, she stopped and looked at me like a light bulb went off. Ding! I get it. Light bulb went off. Ding! Yeah. So when I read this, now I just happened to be this particular person I watched. I just happened to be looking at a community post and I saw this. I said, "Oh, this is." She shared something that Filter Face posted, and this is directed toward me. So I'm not sure what the bitch is. I don't know if you Filter Face created the meme or not. I don't know. Man, watch out. Now you didn't send this to me. He says, and if I send you this, nobody did. Kind of look like me, the lion. But my sign is Aries. So that would be Ram. So I'm not quite I don't know what the bitch means. Now let's see if we can find something here. But nobody sent that to me. Well, what I'm looking for is not, I don't see it. It was in a book that I had, and unfortunately, I don't have the book anymore. I'm trying to think, it might have been, and I used to have the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. It might have been in there. Okay, so I'm not catching it on here, but we're gonna read this anyway. The word bitch does not have a single true definition. Its meaning is highly dependent on context, tone, and evolving power dynamics of its use. While it now when I well let me finish reading. While its literal natural meaning refers to a female dog, its literal neutral meaning, its figurative use as a slur and more recently a reclaimed term of empowerment makes it one of the most complex and contested words in the English language. Animal origin. The original and literal meaning of bitch is a female dog derived from the Old English word. I'm thinking it's biche, Bicce. This meaning dates back over a thousand years and is still used, though it is not common in everyday conversation. Sexual insult. As early as the 15th century, the term was applied to a human woman in a derogatory way, specifically to suggest promiscuity similar to a slut or harlot. Controlling women. By the 1920s, with women gaining new freedoms like the right to vote, the word saw a resurgence as a tool to condemn women who were seen as assertive, difficult, or overly outspoken. It was used to control women who did not conform to submissive gender roles. Dehumanizing slur. Throughout its history, bitch has been used as a tool to oppress and dehumanize. For example, during slavery, the slur was used to enforce control over enslaved people. In modern times, and of course, black people going to use whatever they can that was done to them, they're going to do it to each other. For example, during slavery, the slur was used to enforce control over enslaved people. In modern times, it is often a precursor to or used alongside violence against women, including sexual harassment and domestic violence. I shouldn't just say black people. People that are oppressed do that. Oppressed groups of people do that. Whatever was done to oppress them, they then take it and do it to one another. It ain't just black people. Meaning for men. When directed at a man, the word carries a different connotation and implies that he is subordinate, weak, or effeminate, a man who fails to perform masculinity correctly. The sting of the insult still stems from its link to femininity, suggesting that being like a woman is a form of weakness. The verb form as a verb to bitch means to complain or gripe in an unpleasant way. Reclaiming the word, power versus context. The most complex layer of the word's meaning is its attempted reclamation by women as a term of empowerment. Now, when I was in school, in high school, the school that I went to before I went to Catholic school, it was Protestant Christian school. And then I went to Catholic school, which is Christian. Okay, my 11th grade year. Now, it was a totally, totally different world. I'm going in as an 11th grader, so I was completely new, because back then, it's probably different now, but back then, most Catholic schools, it was something that you started out at elementary and you matriculated all the way through high school, okay? So usually, by the 11th grade, some Catholic schools did not want to accept anyone at that point. It's like, it's too late. They have a particular program that starts from kindergarten, all the way through. All right. So 11th grade is like, well, it's too late. They're about to be done. But I was accepted in. So the first school that I went to, people talk about white people like they're all the same, right? So I was talking to this one guy, white guy. His background is Hungarian, and he was just telling me, how and I've talked to other white people who tell me that whatever their ethnic background is, how their particular group of people don't like this other particular group of people that are skin color white, but they're from a different ethnic background. And usually a lot of the times is the cultural background different in Europe, and then the religious background, Catholicism versus Protestantism. Okay. So I went to a Protestant Christian school, okay, before I went to Catholic school, which was more so English, okay, people that were from, England, British, all that type of thing, okay. And then I go to this Catholic school where the white girls that were there, they were Catholic, okay, which was a different group of white people, European white people ethnically, okay. So it was just very, very different, okay. So it was funny. I was a junior. I got there scared than a motherfucker. I'm new. All these girls know each other. They went to school with each other, elementary school. They've been here together since the 9th grade. I'm new. Them girls, I be listening to them girls, they got to get around each other, laughing, having a good time, calling each other bitch. And I was like, what? Protestant Christianity, Christian schools are a lot fucking different. Very, very conservative. Okay. You wasn't cussing. You wasn't calling each other out your name. None of that type of shit. Okay. And I'm thinking, but this is a private school. This is Catholic school, Not the same vein. Them girls, Catholic school, we get around there calling each other bitch and all of that type of thing as a term of endearment. I have to keep looking because I got zero and everybody done left. Oh, here's one person. Anyway. Well, it could have been me because it was probably me because I just checked to see if it was still running. Everybody left. They left me. They doing a group chat. What other memes can we do? hurt her feelings. Talk about her. So anyway, of course, over time, I got right on board with their fucking asses. It was funny. Okay. But anyway, so you do hear me say that, bitch. Sometimes I'll refer to myself, bitch, you need to do such, such, such. You see all these different meanings here. Okay. Feminist reappropriation. Starting in the 1960s, feminists began to reclaim the word bitch, aligning it with independence, strength, and power. The magazine Bitch was founded on this principle, hoping to strip the word of its power to hurt. Boss bitch. Modern pop culture has amplified this reclaiming with phrases like boss bitch, used to refer to a confident, successful, and attractive woman. A divisive issue, this reclamation, however, is a point of debate. Argument 4. Proponents argue that by using the word in a positive context, its power as a sexist slur is diminished, kind of like the word nigger. ER, the hard R, or nigger. Okay. Argument against. Critics argue that the casual use of the word, even among friends, normalizes sexist language and increases the perception that it is acceptable for men to use as well. For many, the word retains its historical bite and can never be fully reclaimed. Ultimately, the meaning of the word bitch hinges on who is using it, how, and in what context. It can be a harmless greeting between friends, or a violent sexist threat, a reflection of misogyny, or a symbol of defiance and strength. Bitch, a female dog, wolf, fox, or otter. A difficult or unpleasant situation or thing, a complaint. Okay, those are some of the words. So when I saw it and I saw that it was posted by Filter Face, I realized, oh, okay, that's directed at me. So I don't know if you created the meme. Man, watch out. I'm not quite sure am I supposed to watch out for something? Or this is being sent to the other people in the group, in the coven, and whatever else y'all got going on. Because when I talked about it the one night, and I called you Filter Face, that night all I heard was all in my ear. And a very concerted effort to do the shit that I said Bree was doing, trying to get in my chakras. And I just sent the shit back. That ended. Then the next day, here comes someone else. And I figured out who it was. And I spoke to her and I said, stop. She said, okay. And she did. Then the next day, here it is again. You send another person. Who I didn't say shit. I'm working, bitch, whatever. And finally I did. I guess she thought her candle or whatever the fuck you all do was stronger than anyone's. But finally, she left me the fuck alone. Now, I'm not quite sure why you're angry and you're talking about me and calling me names. Because last year, like I said, I was wearing a whole lot of caftans. I got a lot of them. They're beautiful. I mean, you can find some really gorgeous ones. These are kind of garments that women wear in various cultures. They may call it what do they call it? The Muslims, they don't call it a kaftan. They wear them. I mean, people all over the world, all over the earth, all over everywhere, they wear them. They got some that's plain as Jane. They got some that just look like fucking house dresses, like you just threw a robe on. They got some so fucking gorgeous you can wear it out on the night on the town with heels and so on and so forth. But then you make a video. I'm listening to you. Came across one of your videos. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I like the title. Let me see what she's saying. She looks familiar. I think she had a channel before, but I can't remember. But let me listen. That was a good reading. But then I heard walking around wearing you maybe wearing caftans all the time. Hmm? Is she talking about me? Because most women her age, and not even women my age, wear them. I mean, most women don't her age, do not wear them. Most women my age don't wear, I mean, in general, in this general side, don't wear them. I said I made a video. I was told, I was instructed, not by your motherfucking ass, nobody on this app, but by the great divine mother to let the dress drape you. Not you. Because you ain't that to me. Okay. Years ago, I didn't do it. Last year, I said, let me do this. I'm going to do it. I'm being obedient. I'm doing as she told me to do. I'm doing what she instructed me to do. Let the dress drape you. These are so pretty. I like these. I can dress them up. I can dress them down. Free flowing. Oh, I feel so beautiful in them. Oh, she's obviously monitoring me. It's like the other one when I cut my hair and she made a video talking about it, monitoring me. They're watching me. Oh, they all work with weird, crazy ass Brown Joe Bellamy. Or they just like to get on here and monitor other readers and watch them and talk about them in their readings. But I said, well, whatever. I kept listening, watching her videos. I like some of her readings. Some shit she don't know what the fuck she's talking about. But these are some good readings. I like them. Oh, she's talking about Bree right there. I don't blame her. Even though I know she works with her. She's laughing at her. Making fun of her. Wait a minute, now why am I being called a name? A bald-headed scallywag. Why? What did I do to this woman? I don't even know this woman. I don't know her. I be listening to her read. Some of it's good. Some of it's shit. Some of it's good. But I don't know her. I did something to her. What I do to her? Lord, did I do something to the woman? No. Well, that's part of the group. That's what they do. That's what they do. Okay, whatever. Moving on. But I said that in that video. I said that too. I said that. I said that. I said that. And I said that. I said that too. Wait a minute. I started membership. Oh, now there's this person with third channel saying shit that I said. What the fuck is this bitch's problem? Oh, I got a very small sub count, very small channel. Nobody's going to know, right? But bitch, leave my chakras alone. So let me speak up now. And now we're making you mad because you've been following me, watching me, talking about me in your readings, reading me. Oh, that's right. She works with Brianna Joe Bellamy. They sold TRYbz. When I did my blackout readings, I would sing. I just make up these songs and just be singing. Did she get that from me? I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that now. You ain't the only person who just sing and make up songs. So I ain't gonna say that. But that show was a copy word for word, and that was a copy word for word, and that was a copy. So, girl, whatever. Moving on. I'm listening to this one girl. I like her. I be liking read people's posts because that's why they're there. They post it, just like I do. You're a bald-headed lion, bitch. Well, if this made any sense, I guess I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But that's the world today. Just say anything. It's like they're recording that it's 2025. It's a whole realm of Black women on YouTube. It's one woman, you know how you can make content just based off of other people's videos, they TikTok, and they do compilations and all of that kind. It's a whole world of Black women who are cutting their hair and who are bald. Some women have alopecia, some women have illness, some women, their medication is taking their hair out, some women stress, so on and so forth, and some women simply because they fucking like it, because they look good as fuck. I got a beautiful picture of Cicely Tyson when she did it. Nothing new under the sun. Women was doing this back in like the 60s and the 70s. Black women, it's nothing new. Everybody loved the Dora Milaje though on Black Panther. Yay! Man, watch out. Running, lifting weights, a barbell, which I do, and I post that. I don't know if that's supposed to be a hand clap and a rock. I don't be knowing what these motherfucking emojis be meaning. I don't know. I think it's just, I use them sometimes. Some people use them all the time. They have a whole meaning. I guess I could look it up. That would mean that. That would mean that. That would mean that. And that would mean that. Okay, whatever. But nobody sent this to me. Oh, that's your response to me calling you filter face for you bothering and attacking me and monitoring me and putting it in your videos. And you copying off of me. I ain't supposed to say nothing. Again, these people, they do this shit to you and attack you and all this type of shit, but you ain't supposed to say shit. You're not supposed to say a motherfucking, you're just supposed to sit down and take it. Some person you don't even know. And hell, you see me, I ain't even taking shit off people I do know that I grew up with here. Why? Why should I? I guess if we could see how you actually look, then I could do something so immature and childish and make a meme of you. Or whoever made it. Moving the fuck on. Now, next time, send it. You a bald head lying bitch. And then when you do, explain what that means, because it's not logical. It doesn't mean anything. It's not saying anything. It's empty. Bitch, H, or was that supposed to be bitch, or bitch, which would be a comma after bitch. Confirmation. All right, it's 10:20. It's movie day today, honey. Me and my daughter been watching. We like horror movies. I didn't told y'all that before. We've been watching these old ass horror movies, like from the 80s. They're so funny. Some of them are really good. I mean, really good. The acting is like kind of bad, but y'all hear my stomach growling. The acting is bad. Sometimes the writing is bad, but it's a horror movie. You know, it's a slasher. So what can you expect? So I'm just gonna pull a couple cards and see what we get. In general. Now y'all send it next time. So I can go cry. So I can go sit in the corner and cry. Two more shuffles. This is just a general reading. Let's just see what comes up. Because I haven't really been doing like readings like that lately. But there's more to do. More to talk about. Okay. 4 Pentacles. Okay. Strength. Reverse. Now, when I looked at it, you know how you do initially, you'd be like, what? You get the attitude. And I said, well, wait a minute, I could take this 2 ways. 1 or 2 ways. I could take this as, oh, okay, like I just spoke to it, take it that way. Or take it as, man, watch out. Well, are you telling other people to watch out for the bald-headed bitch, lion-headed bitch, or whatever the fuck that is over there, who we tried to get in their chakras to, and she sent that shit back to us? What? Leave the bitch alone. That would be nice. Two of Swords in reverse. Three of Wands in reverse. Three of Pentacles in reverse. So somebody's maybe I feel like somebody's holding on to something. I'm hearing needlessly, okay, that they need to let go of whatever it is that's making you weak, okay? It's keeping you in a state of weakness, okay? And you need some strength, some momentum. Wow, I feel like whoever this is, you might be trying to figure out what to do, how to proceed. I'm hearing how to move forward, but you don't know. You don't know which way to go. You don't know which way to turn. Okay. But whatever it is that you're looking for is not coming in. And you either are looking for people to work with you, or there are people that are working with you. Okay. With whatever this is, toil, task, I'm hearing. I feel like it's a burden, I'm hearing. Okay. These people, whoever they are trying to help, like it might be three the hard way. It's not going, I don't feel like they're much help. Okay. Trying to establish something. Maybe trying to make your mark on something. Trying to make your mark on the world, or, whatever that is for you. Okay. Let's keep on here. We have the Hangman in reverse. Nine of Pentacles upright. Three of Swords in reverse. Princess of Wands upright. Yeah. Trying to get unstuck. Trying to free yourself here. Okay. Movement, I'm hearing. Movement forward. Maybe what you're trying, somebody's hurt here. Okay. Whoever this is holding on to something. I mean, like, you've been established as like a marker. Again, something about hurt. Maybe established as one who hurts people. You hurt others. Okay. Yet you want to move forward. You want to build for yourself. Outshine, outlast. I'm hearing you might be a single person. I'm hearing I am. Okay. I have no one in my life. I feel like that's in terms of like a romantic love connection. Okay. You want to be doing well financially, or you want to be doing better financially. Okay. But I'm hearing something about the financial options are there. But what you have to do, if you're doing things to hurt people, okay, to cause hurt to others, that's why I say you've established yourself as a marker of one hurting people. Then you need to stop doing that shit. Okay. But see, it's almost like I feel like you realize that if you do that, the problem is here that it's like beginning again, starting over. Okay. That may be an issue for you. You don't want to start over, start new, because you've established whatever, still established. And you may feel like in your mind, but I'm established. Okay. Okay. But if you turn from that, whatever it is, you have been established once again as a marketer of a person that hurts others. Okay. Now, you may not be looked at like that. What I mean is, whatever kind of work it is that you do, it may be something that is detrimental to others. However, people may not realize that. Okay. That may be what gets you or has gotten you where you already are. You may just be looked at as an established person, but what has established you is that. Okay, setting yourself up and as whatever this work is that is detrimental to others. And if you let go of that here, okay, because doing this in some kind of way has put you in some kind of bind. It is like, you know how they say whatever you do to get there is what you have to do to stay there. Okay. And I'm hearing that's the problem, or that's your problem, that's your issue. And if you remove yourself from that and stop doing that, it's like you're starting all over again, starting new, starting fresh. But still, whatever kind of quote unquote power that you have, where you're at, that is what you want to keep. Understand? You want to keep that's the trick. You taste that shit and you want to you don't want to let that shit go. That shit, it feel good. I got some power. I'm established. People look at me, as somebody with this, that, and the other, whatever. But here it is. This is what you're doing in the background to have it. Okay. But at the same time, it's putting you in a bind. Now there's the bind. Okay. I have to stop doing this type of work, whatever the work is. Okay. If I want to be free, set free from that. Okay. But again, you want to make sure that you hold that power. Like I had one client, she got fired from government job, one of them good government jobs. Okay. And now it's like her thing is, yeah, but she was making really good money. Will I be able to find a job making as much money as I'm making now? It's like she's starting all over. You may not. Okay. This is what I'm saying here. In so many, that was just an example of what's being said here, of what I'm saying here. We have the Empress card, upright. Okay. Ace of Swords, upright. Okay. And the Death card in reverse. I don't know. I feel like either you were once in this Empress energy, because Empress ain't out there hurting nobody for shit. Okay. At least the way I understand it on, on here. Okay. But I feel like more so, here go these two motherfucking lions. Isn't that interesting? On this goddamn card. I feel like, see right there, them two motherfucking lions. Just like in that meme. Except they're not bald. I feel like maybe this is what you feel that within your being, this is who and what you are. And bitch, this ain't no reading on you, but if it resonates, oh well. Okay, this is just a general reading. Or maybe this feels like this is who and what you are, but you have to be made new. Okay, there has to be a cleansing here that takes place. Okay, but you don't want to change. You don't want to grow. You don't want to transform. Or there is resistance to it. Growth, change, for transformation. Here we have the Four of Swords, upright. The Ten of Swords, in reverse. Okay, and the Star card, in reverse. Okay. Maybe you're contemplating, or you need to contemplate. You need to do some heavy thinking, okay, and internal work. What is it that I really want? Who is it that I really want to be? Okay. Can I move forward here? Okay. Without, can I have, I'm hearing balance. Can I have the balance I want? Can I have the power I want? Can I, be viewed in a positive light, so on and so forth. Okay. And this Empress status, so on and so forth. All right. But without hurting and manipulating others, without backstabbing others, without betraying others. Because right now, okay, you're not living in the energy here that you want to be. That you want to be seen as. Okay. But more so for yourself. Okay. More so for yourself. Not that of others. What others think. All right. All right. Time to watch some good motherfucking ass movies. All right. Y'all hear my stomach? That's all I got right now. That's all I can think of. Something else I want to look up. I was thinking about when I was doing the reading these cards, but I can't remember right now. Let's see. As soon as I get off watch, it'll hit me. Oh, that's what I want to look up. All right, you all have a wonderful day. Peace.